The Tyranny of Fear: History, Religion, and the Path to Liberation. Fear is the invisible chain that binds humanity. It is the oldest form of control, shaping civilizations, religions, and even the most intimate relationships. While fear evolved as a survival mechanism, it has been weaponized by those seeking to rule. From the threat of exile in ancient tribes to the fires of hell in religion, from the spectacle of poverty in modern cities to the global echo of media-driven panic, fear has been used to mold societies into obedience. To understand freedom, one must first understand fear. Fear in ancient civilizations. In early human history, survival depended on collective cohesion. Leaders quickly discovered that instilling fear of punishment or exile could maintain order. In Mesopotamia, the Code of Hammurabi warned of harsh punishments for disobedience. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs wielded fear of divine wrath to secure loyalty, presenting themselves as intermediaries between gods and people. Even the Roman Empire operated on fear. Crucifixion, gladiatorial games, and public executions were designed not only to punish but also to warn. The message was clear: dissent leads to death. Religious fear: the fire of hell. Religion has been both humanity's greatest source of hope and its deepest well of fear. The Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, contain teachings of divine love, but also warnings of hell, wrath, and eternal punishment. Christianity. Medieval Europe amplified the fear of hell through vivid sermons, art, and doctrine. Dante's Inferno painted terrifying images of eternal torment, cementing the Church's role as gatekeeper of salvation. Islam. While the Quran emphasizes God's mercy, it also warns of Jahannam, hellfire, for unbelievers and wrongdoers, creating a dual system of hope and fear. Judaism. Early Jewish texts stressed obedience to divine law, with punishment for disobedience often depicted as exile, suffering, or destruction. Even outside the Abrahamic traditions, fear plays a role. In Hinduism, karma operates as a cosmic law of cause and effect, warning that one's actions will return in future lives. In Buddhism, attachment and ignorance can lead to endless cycles of suffering in samsara. Thus, across traditions, fear is often used not just to teach morality, but to enforce compliance. Fear and social order. Fear has been essential to political control. The French Revolution's reign of terror used fear to silence opposition. The Cold War used nuclear fear to manipulate entire populations. In the 20th century, totalitarian regimes perfected the art. Hitler used fear of Jews and communists. Stalin used fear of spies and traitors. American leaders used fear of communism and terrorism to justify wars and surveillance. Even today, fear of poverty keeps workers tied to jobs they hate. Fear of violence justifies mass incarceration, and fear of the other fuels racism and nationalism. Homelessness is not only a social failure, it is a deliberate reminder of what happens when one falls out of society. Capitalist systems allow visible poverty to persist because it serves as a psychological deterrent. Work, obey, conform, or this could be you. It is no accident that poverty has never been solved despite humanity's abundance of resources. Poverty is functional. It maintains order through fear. Media and the globalization of fear. In the 21st century, fear has become a global product. News thrives on disaster and crime. Social media algorithms amplify outrage and dread. As the French philosopher Michel Foucault wrote, modern power is not only about physical punishment, but about psychological regulation. Fear is now broadcast 24/7, seeping into consciousness until people internalize control. This is why violence never ends. Each act of terror, each crime story, spreads fear further, justifying stronger systems of surveillance and dependence on authority. Spiritual implications: fear versus love. Fear is the opposite of love. In Christian scripture, 1 John 4:18 declares, "Perfect love casts out fear." Yet love is rarely the tool of control. Fear is. The Buddha taught that liberation comes when fear of death is overcome, for attachment to life and terror of loss create endless suffering. The Quran states that God guides believers to peace, yet human interpreters have often focused more on punishment than mercy. Mystics across traditions understood the truth. Fear blinds the soul, while love liberates it. Rumi, the Sufi poet, wrote, "Don't get lost in your fear. Know that beyond every fear is freedom." Breaking the chains of fear. To truly be free, humanity must learn to dismantle the architecture of fear. This requires awareness, recognizing when fear is being used to control. Historical understanding, seeing fear not as divine truth, but as a tool crafted by systems of power. Spiritual practice, turning inward to cultivate courage, love, and faith in the eternal self. Collective action, building societies where compassion, not fear, is the foundation of order. Fear has shaped civilizations, religions, and empires. It has chained humanity to obedience through visions of hell, spectacles of poverty, and media-fueled anxieties. But fear is not the ultimate truth. It is an illusion of control. Beyond fear lies love, courage, and divine freedom. To break free is to awaken, not just as individuals, but as a species. For when fear no longer rules us, neither can the systems that wield it. Written by Michael November.